that we can be a leader both in energy dominance and in environmental stewardship. That's what West Virginia is all about. So today, we celebrate a partnership that reflects the very best of West Virginia, our determination, our innovation, and a deep respect for wild and wonderful West Virginia. So I'd like to thank you, and I'd like to now have the opportunity to turn it over to Rusty Hudson from Diversified.
Well, that's a hard one to follow. I think he already covered all my notes. He knows more about it than I do.
I don't know about that.
Well, first of all, let me just say thank you all for coming today. I think the governor said it best, but this is a big, big day for West Virginia. And as all of you know, I'm all about West Virginia. Have been since the day we opened and started this company. It'll be 25 years next year. It's always been about West Virginia to me. We operate in 13 states now, but West Virginia is always home, and it's where I want to invest and make a difference day to day. So thank you all for coming. I would like to just point out, he'd already pointed this out, but I want to thank President Benson for coming today. What a job he's doing at the university in his short time, but he is making a big difference. They asked me on West Virginia Metro News this morning what I thought about his AAU certification, or I guess a designation certification goal. I said, we're going to support it. I mean, the one thing that he and I talked about when we came in was, look, we're going to set the goals high and we're going to achieve them. We're going to get stuff done is what we talked about. And so very thankful that he showed up today. Ren, always a pleasure to see you in the backup, always in the back trying to hide, but Ren is doing a fantastic job. We've got big things to do in athletics. We talked about funding those, and we're going to do it. So thank all of you. Thank all the politicians that are here today. I'm sure you're going to announce all of them. But this is a big day. And this is he called it cutting edge. It's an absolute cutting edge program that we're entering into here with the state of West Virginia. It's its first of its kind to our knowledge. And I think we got the expert here today to talk about this, but the first of its kind collaboration between a state regulator and an operator as it relates to retiring wells that are in portfolios of companies. This is the first time it's ever been accomplished. No state agency has done this up to this point, which proves again that Diversified is cutting edge innovator in the industry, and the state of West Virginia is always leading when it comes to these kind of situations. So thank you, Governor, for all of that. Thank you for being here. Harold, what a great partnership we have with you. Harold has done a fantastic job leading the regulatory agency here in the state of West Virginia. And when we brought this to Harold and we sat and we talked through it, he said, what's the negative here? And neither one of us could come up with something. So it was at that point, Harold said, we got to get this to the governor. So thank you and your team at the West Virginia DEP for making this happen. We also, thanks. We also have with us today Tony Sanchez, who is leads the One Nexus group, which is the insurance company behind this product. We have been working with Tony now for about 2-3 years, trying to get this thing in place, get it refined and ready to go on a state-by-state basis. And we now have a product that we can roll out not only for Diversified, but for all operating companies across the country, and specifically, dealing with the regulatory agencies one-on-one. So thank you for being here as well. The governor brought this up. What I love about this announcement, and what I love about this product that we're rolling out today, is that it outlasts me. It outlasts the governor. It outlasts the regulatory agency. It's going to be in place, and it will go on for decades, and will take all of the burden off the taxpayers. And that was something that was very, very important to us as we looked at it. Everybody talks about wanting to retire wells, but they don't know really how to do it. This is a way to fund it. We've got these guys behind me today at Next Level who know how to do it. And we're going to collaborate and do it together. And we're going to retire wells over the long way we're producing on a day-to-day basis. It's a big win for the state of West Virginia. And this to make sure that, as it relates to Diversified's wells, has to come up with the money to help fund our plugging for a long period of time. The governor mentioned this as well. We're going to increase the capacity at our next level office here in Bridgeport. When we opened this about 2 years ago, I think it was about 2 years ago, we stood up here and we talked about creating jobs. We have about I think it's about 109 jobs now here in this office that are working on a day-to-day basis. We're going to increase that by at least 50%, may increase by 100%, somewhere between 50 and 100 new jobs right here in Harrison County, West Virginia. And they're going to be good paying, good benefits, and they're going to be meaningful to this area. And that was extremely important to me. As you guys all know, I'm from Harrison County. So I wanted to make sure that when we do invest in West Virginia, Harrison County gets priority. And lastly, and then I'll turn it back over to the one you really want to hear today. Our next level employees that are standing up here behind me today, and this is just a small representative. This is the management team for the most part. They are first class, safety first, get things done type of people. And I applaud all of them for all their efforts and everything they do from day to day. The leadership team, Todd, who's standing here behind me, Nick, who's standing here. It's a big job. We're running how many rigs right now? 16 rigs on a day-to-day basis. 3 or 4 states, constantly moving and plugging wells. It's a big job. These guys know what they're doing. They're doing it in a safe way and environmentally sound. And I want to applaud them. And I want to thank you all again for coming. And I'll turn it back over to the governor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. I'm going to give some of the legislators an opportunity to say a few words if they would like. But I'd like to conclude my remarks before we move to the press conference side, if the folks have any questions, and mention this. When you think about what we have to accomplish in West Virginia, we have to continually look for different ways to identify high-paying jobs, but not just jobs that are going to be around for 2 or 3 years, jobs that have permanence. Because part of what we need to do in the next few years is send a very clear message across West Virginia to all the kids that are in school today who are thinking that they're not sure whether there's a job opportunity available for them in the future. Let me tell you, they're going to be incredible job opportunities, and they're going to be just like this. Whether it's working at Diversified for a job that could pay $75,000 a year, or after going to a technical college and being an electrician or a plumber or a sheet metal worker. The demand for those jobs is off the charts right now. Since we passed our law earlier this year with respect to licensing reciprocity, I'm grateful for the legislature for doing that. We're seeing an over 10% increase in the number of contractor applications right here in West Virginia. So a project like this matters for a number of reasons, because it allows us to begin to communicate more and more that West Virginia is going to have a long-term, vibrant future. That people who are worried about job opportunities in West Virginia, you shouldn't worry about that. We're going to grow and provide those opportunities in a way you've never seen before. So that's why this is especially rewarding, because it deals with the immediate issues at hand to start to plug the wells, but it also sends a message that there will be economic strength and dominance for a long time. That's a 20-year commitment that Diversified did today. That's an awful lot of jobs, a lot of payroll for a long period of time. You're going to begin to see more and more of these type of announcements in the upcoming weeks and months ahead. And that's how West Virginia fuels its comeback story. So I want to thank everyone for making that possible, and certainly want to give any of the legislators who would like to speak an opportunity. I know this is a passion, whether it's of you, Delegate Anderson, or Mark, any comments that you have, I want to give you an opportunity. Anyone?
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Greetings. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Delegate Bill Anderson from Wood County. I chair the Energy and Public Works Committee in the House of Delegates. A number of years ago, I sponsored a couple of little bills through the legislature that created little trickles of money for well plugging. And so it's an issue that I was on a long time ago, but that's not what's important. We've had some federal money come in recently, which I think the Office of Oil and Gas has used very well to address well problems. I think this is a monumental step forward. It is basically a private industry stepping up to partner with our DEP to deal with the long-term environmental problems that have legacy issues that have been handed to us for more than 100 years. And anything we can do to improve the well plugging and improve the quality of everything in the state, I am behind. And I want to thank the governor, and I want to thank the Diversified for working out this partnership. And I would encourage other companies in the state to look at ways that they can contribute to dealing with these long-term legacy issues the state deals with. Thank you very much for being here today. Thank you.
Senator, I should have recognized the senator first. That's my error. See you.
Governor, thanks. Rusty and your wife, thanks for the investment here. Thanks for believing in these men and women behind me. Sorry, Bridgeport's important to me. Harrison County is important to me. The more men and women we can have stand behind us, the more families we can bring to West Virginia, the more kiddos we can keep in our schools, the more graduates President can graduate from West Virginia University. To the entire oil and gas community, I know several of you are here. Thank you. Charlie Bird was in front of our Joint Energy Committee last week. 80,000 people go to work each and every day in our energy, in our oil and gas industry. Very exciting. That might be 80,100 here before too long. So to our entire gas and oil community, thank you for what you do. Thank you for being safe. Thank you for going to work every day and believing in our state. Thanks for partnering. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Mr. Secretary. Your work goes very noticed in the legislature. So to the men and women behind me, thanks for coming to work here every day. Thanks for believing in North Central West Virginia. I look forward. Rusty, you said it's a management team, right? I look forward to you hiring a lot of young West Virginians to be part of your crew. More opportunities for my friends to stay here in West Virginia. Thank you, Governor.
Awesome. Thank you. You guys good? Anyone here? Delegate Zateslo, nice to see you.
Tough name. Well, it's been, almost 50 years since I was a BS graduate of the WVU School of Geology. And I was looking at some legislation. I was asked to look at it for well plugging this past session. What struck me was Commissioner Ward and his folks and industry came together, did a pilot study, and from that pilot study, they came up with a way to more effectively and economically plug wells. And as a geologist, I looked at it fairly critically to make sure it looked okay, and I really couldn't find much wrong with it. I was happy to sponsor the bill, and I think this is a great continuation of that effort. And I agree, Governor, if we can pull more people into this type of a program, it can only be benefit. I don't know how many of you know, but there are thousands of wells in the state that are abandoned. And you can argue how much environmental damage they do, but the fact that they're open is something that you cannot overlook. The more aggressive we are with that, the better off we're going to be. Once again, thank you for allowing me to sponsor the legislation, and thank you very much, Governor, for your efforts.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mike, did you? All right. Well, we're grateful for everyone. And last but not least, the men and women who are here today, you guys are the salt of the earth. So I want to say we are all grateful for you and the hard work that you're putting in, and you're making West Virginia proud. So thank you. All right. Any questions from the media on this topic? Anyone? Where's Charles Young when you need him? Anyone? Okay. Then I think we're going to conclude unless there's, back there, go ahead.
Jefferson Pan with WBOI. What would have likely happened to these abandoned wells without this new fund?
Well, I think one of the most important things is that we're beginning to develop a plan to have certainty to plug these wells, right? If you're talking about 75,000 wells over a prolonged period of time, you have to look at this and say, how many can you get done each year? This is meaningful progress. 150 approximately for the next 20 years, and then 250 beginning in 2046. But this is just with Diversified. When you look at some of the other companies that are engaged here, if we replicate it, you start to see a meaningful number of the wells that could get covered. So at the end of the day, if the private sector isn't stepping up to fulfill, some of their duties and responsibilities, a lot of it falls to the taxpayers, and that's not fair to the taxpayers. And that's why I was so happy to partner with Diversified on this, because they're being good stewards not only of the environment, but they're helping protect taxpayer money. So this is one piece of a broader plan to make sure that we're capping all of the wells in our state. But it's something that's going to have to continue well beyond Diversified's efforts, well beyond my efforts and this legislator's efforts. Next question.
Oh, yeah, I'll ask. Carrington Harris from WDB. I was just asking, how important was it for you to make sure taxpayers didn't pay their money to this project?
Look, I think it's incredible when you can leverage the amazing opportunities that we have in West Virginia. I've always been a believer that we're going to grow our standard of living and get higher paying jobs through our energy resources. Rusty, we've talked about that a lot. President Benson, we've talked that a bit. We have so much wealth underneath our feet right here in West Virginia. And the message I want to send to all the kids across West Virginia is there are going to be opportunities galore over the next 20, 30, 40 years here. So, and when you can do it by working through regulatory systems in a very fast manner, you don't have to spend all the money in the world. You can leverage what you have, which are really good workers, people, invest in those, and work with good partners in the private sector and leverage what you have, and you can produce great economic results. That's part of what this message is all about. So I'm thrilled because I have a duty to protect taxpayer money. And long term, I want to make sure that people know West Virginia is going to be the best place to live, to work, and play. And we can create such vibrant economic development by leveraging the private sector resources that we have. That's how we're going to really grow in the economic rankings. Media, yeah, my friend.
I was reading the Abandoned Wells Act, which, if I'm interpreting correctly, says that the state can plug these abandoned wells and be entitled to compensation from the gas and oil company. So, in light of that, why is it important to have a more proactive partnership?
Well, first of all, speed matters, right? I talk about speed to build. The comeback story for West Virginia is built on cutting red tape and moving faster. These guys can move faster than state government or federal government. So I want to take advantage of that, right? So it's important to protect our environment. And I think what they're doing here is very, very positive. So I think when you can get the private sector to do things it's capable of doing it, that's not something the government should be involved in. So I'm excited to partner with Diversified on that effort. Any other questions from the media? Guys, I want to say thank you so much for coming here today. This is an incredible announcement. Once again, it helps all the citizens today, but it's sending a very powerful message for tomorrow. So thank you and God bless.